Okay, this is a grade 10 lecture on linear systems. This section essentially is to solve two equations and two unknowns. What I'm going to do is to give you a couple of examples. So first example, example 1, I have this system. Y is equal to x minus 1, y is equal to 2x minus 3. So this is a system. I have two equations and two unknowns. The instruction of this problem should be something like this. Solve. What does the word solve mean? Solve means you find the value of x and the value of y, such that if you put the values of x and y, put x into here, put x value here, y value y here, this is true and this is true. Solve for value of x and y so that both equations are true. How do we do that? Look, the left-hand side is y. This left-hand side is y. Y, of course, is y. So this y, of course, is this y. That means my right hand should be the same. Therefore, the next step is to write x minus 1 equals 2x minus 3. The right side of one equation equals the right side of the second equation. Now this is one equation with only one unknown, and you know how to solve it. So what I do is this. I move the x to this side, so I have 2x minus x. I move the negative 3 to the other side, so I have negative 3 becomes positive 3 and minus 1 and equal sign. I need to explain my way of doing things. Probably some students will move 2x to this side. Now watch. If you move 2x to this side, you have x minus 2x, you get negative x. My way of doing things, I do not want my unknown to start with a negative sign, because negative things is usually more difficult to handle. But if you have no trouble, you can do whatever way you want, because this is just to solve one equation with one unknown. So 3 minus 1 is 2. 2x minus x is just x. Therefore, my answer for x, I already have it. So x is 2. Then what is y? So put the 2 into the first equation because it's easier. You can put the 2 into here, but that's more complicated. So put the 2. So y is 2 minus 1 is equal to 1. Now I have the solution now. X equals 1, x equals 2, x equals 2, y is equal to 1. So to show that this is a pair of the solution, I usually use a bracket. Or you can do this. Your answer is 2, 1. I hope you follow this work. Okay, the next example. The next example. Example 2. Example 2 is more a little bit complicated than example 1. Y is equal to 3x minus 8 and 5x plus y is equal to 6. All right, let me erase this. How do I do that? Look, I already have the first equation y on the left-hand side. So all I want to do is to change the second equation with the y on the left side only y, nothing else. This can be easily done. I rewrite the second equation. Y is equal to, move the 5x to the other side, 6 minus 5x. Now, with this and this, I have y on the left-hand side, y on the left-hand side. The left-hand sides are the same. Therefore, the right-hand sides should equal to each other. Therefore, 3x minus 8 is equal to 6 minus 5x. Now this time, how do I move the x part? I move this to the left-hand side because this becomes positive and my x part will be positive. So I have 5x plus 3x. Move the negative 8 to the right-hand side. So I have 8x is equal to 14. So what is my x? X is 14 over 8. And this, reduce it, 7 over 4. So my second example, the x part is 7 over 4. So how do I find the y? You can put the x value into here or put the x value into here. So which way is easier? Maybe I use this, right? Y is equal to 3 times 7 over 4 minus 8. So 21 over 4 minus 8, and I have 21 over 4. Common denominator, and this is equal to 32 minus 21 with a negative sign. It's 11, right? Negative 11 over 4. So I have two answers, a pair of answers, I mean. So x is equal to 7 over 4, and y is equal to negative 11 over 4. I can, this is the pair. I can also write in bracket form 7 over 4, negative 11 over 4. So it is not too difficult, right? So all you need to do is to isolate the y on the left-hand side and let the right-hand side equal to each other. Let's have a third example. Let me erase the title of the lecture. Erase that. So number 3, same thing, solve. Now number 3 is a little complicated than number 2. 5x plus 2y equals 18. 2x plus 3y equals 16. Now this is a pair. How do I do that? Same method. I want my y on the left side only. But first step, I have 2y. So let me put 2y on the left-hand side and move the 5x to the right-hand side. Divide this whole equation by 2. So I have 18 divided by 2 is 9. 5x divided by 2 is 5x over 2. So that's my first equation with y on the left-hand side. Then I do the same thing on the second equation. The first step is to keep 3y on the left-hand side and move 2x to the right-hand side. divide this equation by 3, I have y equals 16 over 3 minus 2x over 3. Then the next step is, of course, you see this y and this y, they are equal. So the right-hand side should equal. So I write 9 minus 5x over 2 should equal to 16 over 3 minus 2x over 3. Solve this equation for x. How do I do that? I don't want fractions, so I get rid of the fractions. I multiply this equation by the common denominator. Now you have denominator 2 and 3. What's the common denominator? Of course, it's 6. So you multiply each term by 6. So that's, I don't have enough space here. Let me erase the question, okay? So let me see if I need the equation. So let me erase the given system of equations. So multiply each term by 6. So I write 6 times 9. I use a dot to represent multiply. Minus 6 times 5x over 2 equals 6 times 16 over 3 minus 16 times 2x over 3. Now, 6 times 9, 54. 2 and 6 can be cancelled. You always remember, if you can reduce, you reduce it. 2 and 6, you get 3 here. So 3 times 5 is 15. Remember, always reduce. 3 and 6 is 2. 2 times 16 is 32. 3 and 6 is 2, so minus 4x. Minus 4x. Now, you don't have any fractions, so it's easier to do. Yeah. I want x on one side. How do I move the x so that I get x part positive? I move the 15x to this side. 15x minus 4x. Whoops. Minus 4x. I want positive for x part. And then I move 32 to the other side. So I have 54 minus 32. (54 minus 32 is 22. And 15x minus 4x is 11x. And from this, you can see easily x is 2. If x is 2, I can find y. Oh, I have this. I haven't erased it. It's useful because I can put 2 here. So let me continue this. 16 over 3 minus, put 2 here. 2 times 2 is 4. So it's 4 over 3. What is this minus that? So the top is 12. The bottom is 3. So it's 4. So I have a pair of answers. X is 2. Whoops. Sorry. X is 2. Y is 4. So this is a pair. Or you can write 2, 4 inside the bracket. So that's my answer. Now, I give you the next example. Number 4 example. Okay. So let me erase this grade 10 to give me more space. So number 4. Number 4 looks a little different from what we have so far. The question given is 1 over x plus 1 over y is equal to 3 over 4. 3 over x plus or minus 1 over y minus 1 over y is equal to 1 over 4. Now, let me have more space here. Look, I have x and y both in the denominator. Actually, this is not a linear equation. This is not a linear function, a linear system. Because x, what is the power of x? It's negative 1. The power of y is negative 1. When you have a negative power, it is not a linear system. But you can still use the method of linear system to do it. How do we do that? Let's put y on the left-hand side. 1 over y is equal to 3 over 4 minus 1 over x. That's from the first equation. From the second equation, I have, from the second equation, I move the negative 1 over y to this side. So it becomes positive 1 over y, and move the 1 over 4 to the other side. So I have 3 over x minus 1 over 4. So I have two equations like this. All right. Now you look at these two equations. This side is 1 over y. And here for this next equation, this side is 1 over y. 1 over y, of course, is the same as 1 over y, all right? So this is the same as that. Therefore, this is equal to that. So I write 3 over 4 minus 1 over x is equal to 3 over x minus 1 over 4. Now, I move negative 1 over 4 to the left-hand side. It becomes positive 1 over 4, and move the 1 over x negative to the right-hand side. What do I have here? I have, let's see now. I have this 4 over 4. I have 4 over 4 on the left-hand side. And I have 4 over x on the right-hand side. So what is x? 4 over 4 is equal to 4 over x. Therefore, x is 4 now. Once you have the x, then you can find y. Which equation will give you y quickly? This equation. Put the x4, put in x is equal to 4 into here. So 1 over y is equal to 3 over 4 minus 1 over 4. So therefore, it is 2 over 4. Y, 1 over y is equal to 2 over 4. But 2 over 4 is 1 over 2. Now you see 1 over y is equal to 1 over 2. Therefore, y is equal to 2. So my answer is 4 and 2. Or I can write in bracket form 4 and 2. So this is my example 4. Okay. And let's see, I have one more example here. Okay, example 5. Example 5 is to solve 2 over x minus 2 over y is equal to 1 over 2, and 1 over x plus 5 over y is equal to 3 over 4. So how do I do that? Okay. Let's do this. Let's divide the first equation by 2. Divide the first equation by 2. That is the same thing as saying multiply the first equation by 1 over 2. So I multiply the first equation by 1 over 2. 1 over 2 times 2 over x minus 1 over 2 times 2 over 1 equals 1 over 2 times 1 over 2. Let's simplify this. 2 and 2 cancel, 2 and 2 cancel, and this becomes 4. So I have 1 over x minus 1 over y equals 1 over 4. Now I use these two equations. For this one, I keep the 1 over x and move 5 over y to this side. So 1 over x is equal to 3 over 4 minus 5 over 1. And for this equation, I keep the 1 over x here. 1 over x is equal to 1 over 4 plus 1 over y. Now, you see that on the left-hand side, here is 1 over x. And on the left-hand side, here is 1 over x also. Therefore, the right-hand side should equal to this right-hand side. And that's what I'm going to do exactly. So, 3 over 4 minus 5 over y equals 1 over 4 plus 1 over 1. I moved 1 over 4 to the left-hand side. I moved 5 over y to the right-hand side. What I have 2 over 4 is 6 over y. But 2 over 4 is 1 over 2. So this is 1 over 2. 1 over 2. What is y? Cross multiply. Y is equal to 12. Once you have the y, you can find the x very easily. For example, you put this into here. So I have 1 over x equals 1 over 4 plus 1 over 12. Now 1 over 12, I do common denominator. Common denominator is 12, then it's 3 plus 1. And this is 4 over 12. 4 over 12 is 1 over 3. Therefore, x is equal to 3. So I have the answer, bracket 3, 12. So that's all the examples I am giving here. What is the name of this method? You see, I make one side the same. The left-hand side can be both y, but it's not necessary that the left-hand side is y. You can make the left-hand side both x. And in the last two examples, I can make the left-hand side both left-hand side is 1 over x, or I can make it into 1 over y. In other words, I make one side of both equations the same. Then the other side of the both equations should equal to each other. That's how I do it. So what is the name? The name is called a comparison. You compare one side, and you conclude that the other side must equal to each other. So this is called a comparison. Method of comparison. So that's one method. So next time I will give you another method. So this is only part 1. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.